Welcome to sportsbookreview.com, and this is your home of baseball. I'm Flash. We're going to do KBO from South Korea and the NPB from Japan. Now, we're live, which means that we're going to have Jason up there, but you're our second guest. So get yourselves in the chat. Let us know any questions, any tips, any sort of leans. If you don't fancy Jason's, then say so, and I'll throw it out to him. I won't reply in the chat. I'll just throw it straight out to Jay. Now, if you like this video, then please subscribe, press the button, and ring the bell. It's imperative you ring the bell because then we can notify you, and you'll never miss any content again. And if you press the link just there in the description, then that will take you over to Jay's articles. Not just Jay's articles. There'll be other writers on other sports. Now, let's have a little chat with our man who guaranteed the parlay yesterday. Guaranteed a parlay. You had some kahunas, Jay, and it paid off.
It's the last time I'm ever guaranteeing anything on this show because Kia almost lost in that one. It was really bad. They came back ninth inning, won the game 4-3. Really close. I mean, if Kia played any other team in that game, they would have lost by maybe 10 runs. Hanwha left a ton of runners on base. It was a brutal game for Kia. Somehow they won. The last time I'm ever guaranteeing anything on the show.
Was it a little bit squeaky bum time, was it?
Just a little.
Listen, it's great with the KBO. And listen, we've got to mention a massive congratulations to the Buffaloes as well, because they finally won a game. I think they went maybe 7 or 8 straight defeats, and they finally won a game.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. We had the Lions in that one because the Buffaloes had a relief pitcher on the mound. Somehow, some way, hit them through like 5 or 6 innings or something. So, of course, that's what happens in baseball. That's just baseball for you.
Yeah, and the good thing is that when they actually won, they 6-0, 6-0, absolutely. And listen, I wouldn't say that we're going to start lumping on the Buffaloes because, listen, one swallow don't make a summer. Okay, here we go then. Let's kick straight off with the KBO. Remember, we're live, so that means you're in the chat. That means you can throw things at me, and then I'll throw it at Jay. Now, we're going to go with the KBO, and it's the Eagles versus the Tigers, and the Eagles continue to get beat, but they're getting a bit closer, Jay.
Yeah, this one's really tough. I mean, we have Orix on the mound. He's got a 3.5 ERA and a 3.67 FIP. Then you have Lehman Woe on the mound for Kia, who's had really 3 poor starts in his last 3 starts. So he has a 5.12 ERA and a 4.31 FIP. This one's really tough. I'm not going to touch this game either way, but if you look at the better pitcher and you want to take the better pitcher in this matchup, it's obviously Orix of Hanwha, but how can you back Hanwha at all? Maybe you look at Hanwha in the first 5 innings. If Supol's on the mound, it's tough. Like I'm not going to ride Hanwha Eagles, but they had a better pitcher on the mound, and Kia looked lost for their first 8 innings, and then finally came alive in the 9th inning. Which Kia team are we getting? Is Orix going to be down? So maybe look at first 5. I don't know, but this is what I'm staying away from completely.
Okay, we've got Jesus Ouch in the chat saying, Je vous appelle de play la début. So that means, obviously, this is his first time. Then welcome, Jesus. The thing is, though, what about the total? We're going to be looking at the total around 9.5, and we could go under because we don't trust either side, Jay?
Yeah, I would definitely go with under 9. Lehman Woe's been really bad as of late, but at the end of the day, he's going up against the Hanwha Eagles offense that has been pretty shaky throughout the entire season, and then Orix has been pretty on point as of late. So, yeah, I would go with under 9 as a lean as well.
Okay, Daniel Pacheco says the Kia game was crazy. They're always crazy, but that means you love it even more, Daniel, especially when you come up smelling of roses. Now, the next game is the Wiz versus the Twins, Jay.
Yeah, so Casey Kelly's on the mound for LG Twins, and it seems like every single time Casey Kelly's on the mound, the LG Twins find a way to lose. He has a 5.12 ERA and a 4.41 FIP, and for some reason, when Kelly's on the mound, we always go with the LG Twins, and they always falter and lose. But KT's on with Joe Byung-wook, who's only started 1 game this season, has 2 relief appearances, got a 3.55 ERA and a 4.85 FIP. This one's really tough. Byung-wook, he's not anything special, but right now, the Twins don't have much special offensively either with a bunch of injuries. So, again, I would lean towards KT Wiz at plus 150. even with Kelly on the mound, still think the Wiz have a lot of value at plus 150. They hit the ball really well this morning. Why can't they do it again? Casey Kelly hasn't been one of the better pitchers, import pitchers so far this season, and he's been faltering as of late. So, yeah, I would lean towards KT Wiz plus 150. I think there's more value there. Also, over 9.5 in this one.
Okay, you said lean at plus 150. There'll be plenty of people there licking their lips at the 150. Manny's saying, hit the Buffalo games last night. Jason gave me 2 days ago. Okay, then. You're a brave man, Manny. Brave. The men in white coats. We'll be coming to pick you up very, very soon. Now, let's go with the Giants and the Dinos. The Dinos, they are the cream of the crop, and they've got to get back to winning ways on a regular basis, Jay.
Yeah, of course. They got a good win this morning against the Giants, and now it's 1-1 in the series. Here we have Dan Straley on the mound for the Lotte Giants. He's been one of the better pitchers in the league so far this season. However, in his last 8 starts, he doesn't have 1 win. So he's pitched really well, doesn't have a win in his last 8 starts, which means he's getting no run support whatsoever from the offense. And that's probably going to happen in this one as well. Again, the Giants, they had a great game that first game, scored 10 runs. But we know when you look at the bigger picture, they don't score many runs on the road. They're not a great offensive team in the first place, and they're a bottom-tier team in the league. And the Dinos are one of the top teams in the league, if not the top team in the league. Sure, their bullpen's been a little shaky. It has been, and I agree with that. But when you get the Dinos at around minus 140, you don't really see a top team in the league at home at around that minus 140 range against a pretty poor team like the Giants. It's like, for example, it's like the Yankees against maybe like the Orioles or maybe even the Blue Jays. You always take the Yankees, even if they're home, as a small favorite because they have a really good hitting team and their pitching will do enough against those poor teams. So, yeah, I'm going to take as the lean, I would take the Dinos at around minus 140 and also lean towards under 9.5. Again, Straley's on the mound, so that definitely scares me a little bit, but at the end of the day, he hasn't won anything, and I don't think the Giants are going to win this one as well. So I would lean towards the Dinos. Might make an official play later, but for now, it's a lean. If it definitely goes a little bit lower than minus 140, I'll definitely take it.
Jay, you lean any more, you're going to fall over. You know that. Now we got Jess in the chat saying it's her first. He's maybe him, maybe her. I'm not quite sure. Maybe you can let us know whether Jess is a man or a woman. And it's the first time live. Hello. Now, obviously, if it is your first time and you press that subscribe button, then let us know in the chat that you've subscribed. Also, we've got 25 watching, but only 8 thumbs up. That means 17 of you are sitting on the fence. Give Jay a thumbs up because he's the one that puts all the hard work in. Also, we've got Kashat and Ben saying thanks for the show. Let's kick on with the Wyverns against the Lions, Jay.
Yeah, so we took the Wyverns this morning and didn't really go well for us. We took the minus 1.5 in the first 5 innings, or plus 1.5 in the first 5 innings. And my guy, Moon Seung Won, faltered in the 4th inning, had a really bad inning in the 4th inning, and that just ruined that bet. So it wasn't a great morning for SK or that bet, but it was still a good morning for me in total. Anyway, we have 2 great pitchers on the mound in this one. Lee Jong-wook has a 2.78 ERA for SK, and then Won Tae-in has a 2.96 ERA for Samsung. Lee Jong-wook, we've talked about him plenty of times before. I faded him plenty of times before, and it's backfired plenty of times before. He's been really – it's time to respect him a little bit with a 4.89 FIP and a 1.21 whip. But then Won Tae-in, he's more of the younger sensation pitcher, 2.96 ERA, but a 5.02 FIP. So both of these pitchers have been a little bit lucky this season, but I just wish Won Tae-in was more consistent throughout the season. He's had really good outings, really bad outings. I just wish that he had his full potential in every game. That's why I kind of like Tae-in here. SK, they're 6-20 on the road this season, so I do think Won Tae-in will have his better start in this one. I like Samsung at minus 160. I know it's going up around minus 170, minus 180. So try to get it as low as possible. Obviously, I like Samsung as an official play, minus 160, and I'll lean towards under 9 in this matchup.
Hey, I knew it weren't long before we got the old official play out of you, but it happens to be next to the Lions. And the Lions have done us no favours this year. They have been the team that if we go with them, they get beat. If we go against them, then they win and they turn up. Now, Jake says, well, big fan of the show. Thanks, Jake. Shadow. Cheers, Flash and Jason. Bing KBO. Loving the shows. Now, remember just to press your thumbs up. And if you haven't, and it is your first time, then get yourself in the chat because you're our second guest. Jay, we're going to go with the Bears and the Heroes. The Bears couldn't miss this morning. Everything they hit ended in runs.
Yeah, I said I was going to stay away from this entire series, but I had no choice but to take this game and make an official play on it. We're going to go with the Doosan Bears to lead in the first 5 innings at plus 120. I don't trust the Doosan Bears bullpen. I don't trust Klwoom and their bullpen as well, or their pitching staff right now, especially Joe Young Guns on the mountain for Klwoom. Has a 6.87 ERA. And to make matters worse, a 7.68 FIP. He's been awful all season long. He's a young pitcher. He's like 20, 21 years old. He's getting his feet wet in the league, but he hasn't performed at all. Going up against Park Jung-ji, he's had 3 starts this season, has a 2.81 ERA and a 3.53 FIP. This is another guy I faded in his first couple of starts because he hadn't pitched since 2015. Comes back in the league and he's performed in his first 3 games. In his last start, I think, was against NC, which was pretty impressive to say the least. So, yeah, I don't know if I trust either of these teams in a full game, but if you're looking at the pitching matchup, I absolutely believe the Doosan Bears will go ahead early in the game. So I would go Doosan to lead after the first 5 innings at plus 120. Could also look at the over for the Doosan team total. It is pretty high, though, around 6.5. Again, that's high. I would rather just take Doosan first 5 in this one. Also, if you look at the money line, they're both pretty similar, both even around that range. So if you look at either way, I like Doosan on the money line as well, but I would just prefer Doosan to lead after the first 5 innings at plus 120.
Well, the thing is, you prefer Doosan. Randy, he's getting his kahunas out and he's going Doosan minus 1.5. Good luck to you, Randy. We are cheering you on, and there's plenty chat coming in now because we are live and we love being live, Jay. Now let's move on. Remember, that's game 3 of 3 in the series, but in the Pacific, in the NPB, it's only game 3 of 6. They have a 6-game series in the Pacific Division. Now we're going to start off with the Fighters and the Hawks, Jay.
Yeah, so in the Pacific, kind of looking at all the matchups in the Pacific this morning, it had me kind of wondering. It was really hard to find much, any different, way of going about these games. So I don't have an official play in any of these Pacific games, but I do have leans, and these leans, my leans usually hit. So definitely,
they do.
Keep your ears open and listen.
You got to have a bit more confidence about yourself, Jay.
So we have, so we have SoftBank Hawks and the Nippon Fighters. 2 pitchers that are import pitchers who pitched really well in their first outing. They're both former Major League pitchers, Rick Van Den Herk of SoftBank and Drew Verhagen of Nippon Fighters. I'm going to have to lean with SoftBank at around minus 143. It's tough when SoftBank throwing up against Drew Verhagen, but Nippon, they've just been so bad offensively. Another egg this morning, they scored 0 runs. Their average is like 200. They're not hitting at all. And SoftBank, they have a better hitting team. I think they can scratch out a couple more runs. I would also lean towards under 7.5. It's a very low number. That's why I'm not taking it. But under 7.5 with these 2 pitchers going. Again, Van Den Herk, he went 7.2 innings in his first outing, only allowed 2 runs on 2 hits, 7 strikeouts and 1 walk. Pretty good outing. And then Drew Verhagen, 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned run, 4 strikeouts and 1 walk. So they both pitched phenomenally in their first starts. And I think that carries over to this one. So I'd lean towards SoftBank, and I'd also lean towards under 7.5 in that matchup.
Okay, well, let's go with the Eagles and the Marines. The Eagles winning again. Marines, they had their way last week with the Buffaloes, but now they're coming up against a decent side. They're coming up short, and they're getting a bit of the Buffalo treatment. Yeah,
well, now we're seeing the best team in Pacific putting in work. They got the best batting average in the Pacific, the best ERA in the Pacific, and now they're proving why they're the best team in the league. The Marines were a couple of games ahead. Now they're tied in division for first, and I expect the Eagles to win another one here. I wrote about them in my article. I said that they would win. I give money line play on that one. I'm still second-guessing my thoughts on this one with the pitching matchup, but I would lean Rakuten minus 150 and also lean towards over 8.5. Daiki Iwashita was on the mound for Lotte against in his first game against the Orix Buffaloes. He pitched well in that one, but how much props can I give him against the Buffaloes? I don't really know. He went 5.2 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk. Pretty solid outing. But, I mean, you can't really get what is that? Like, it's against the Buffaloes. And so that doesn't really compare to his career numbers. And then Takahiro Shiomi of Rakuten, he's 42 and 49 in his career. So he's got a losing record in his career. But in his career, he has a career ERA of 3.70, which is pretty respectable for that many games being played. And he finished with a 3.16 ERA last season in a short amount of games. I would lean towards Rakuten minus 150. It might turn into an official play later, but the pitching matchup kind of scares me a little bit. So probably stay away, but it's a lean.
You got to go with the Eagles. Official play. I know it's a lean at the moment, but it will turn into an official play. You mark my words. Michelle says best of luck today. No, best of luck to you, Michelle, and thanks for contributing in the chat. Because remember, you're our second guest. Any questions, any leans, any favoured bets, then throw them in because then I can have a chat with Jay. Now we're going to go with the Lions against the Whipping Boys, which are the Buffaloes, but then they actually won yesterday 6-0, Jay.
Yeah, everyone's excited about this matchup because the Buffaloes are back to plus 170, even after winning 6-0. And if you look at the pitching matchup, it's not that different. So I lean towards Buffaloes plus 170. If you really want to get your feet wet a little bit, why not? The Buffaloes plus 170. The pitching matchup is pretty spot on because Sachi Yamasaki for Orix, he's actually going on his first outing in this start. He pitched in the minors in his first start of the season. He went 6 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 3 strikeouts, 2 walks. He pitched pretty well. Again, it was in minor leagues. He went 2-3 last season in the majors with a 4.50 ERA in 36 games in relief. So he didn't even start last year. And he's 10-17 in his career. So is he turning around the corner? Is he pitching better? Is that why they're bringing him up? Or is he going to go right back to how he performed last season? Who knows? And then Kazuki Honda is going for the Lions. He had a really poor outing in his last one. Well, it wasn't poor, but he went only just 5 innings, allowed 3 hits, 2 runs, 4 strikeouts, and 1 walk. But last season, he was 6-8, 5.11 ERA. So this one's tough. I think both both guys on the mound are pretty similar. I think that we have a younger guy going for Yamazaki who could be turning the corner. So I think the Buffaloes have value at plus 170 for sure. But also lean towards under 9.
Jay, they definitely have value at plus 1.5, surely.
Yeah, it's definitely there's definitely value in both of them for sure. I always like looking at the bigger number, but yeah, plus 1.5, it's definitely solid. But once I come off a 6-0 win, you're like, all right, I can just take them on the money line. So yeah, you can be my guest, take that plus 1.5, definitely hit as well.
Okay, well, that means we've finished with the Pacific Division. But before we go to the Central, let me tell you that Kathy's saying, nice parlay call. We're just going to give him a little bit of a boost here, so we might get a few official plays out of him, Kathy. Dan's saying, hey, boys, it's good to be here. No, it's great to be here. And I love doing live shows because it means I can interact with you and you can give us a little bit more feedback. Now we're going to go Central Division, and it's the Dragons versus the Tigers, Jay, and big officials. Come on.
Yeah, no, this league's getting all the official plays. That's where they're all at right now. So for the Dragons and Tigers game, we're going with the Chunichi Dragons at minus 125. Hit them yesterday. They got the win. You can hit them again for this one. I'd also lean towards 7.5 on the over 7.5. Nelky Garcia is going for the Hanshin Tigers. He had a really bad outing in his first outing. He went 4 innings, allowed 8 hits, 5 runs, 4 strikeouts, 2 walks, and a home run in his first outing on the season for the Hanshin Tigers. And then Yuichiro Okano of the Dragons also had a pretty bad outing in his outing as well. Went 5 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs, had 6 strikeouts and no walks. So that was the kind of thing that was kind of glaring towards me. 6 strikeouts and no walks in his first outing in the NPB in his career. Okano, if you don't know, actually played in the 2018 Asian Games, and he had defeated Pakistan and Taiwan. And that Taiwan game was in the semifinals for Japan. He had the best ERA in the entire Asian Games and was 3rd in strikeouts in the Asian Games as well. So he's actually got some experience outside of the NPB, performed on a bigger stage. So yeah, I like Okano in this matchup against Garcia. Hanshin has been really bad offensively throughout the entire season, so I think Okano settles down. His first start was against the Baystars, who are the best offense in the league. I think going up against Hanshin's a lot easier than going up against the Baystars. Okano should have a good outing there. Also, you should know that Garcia is actually facing his former team. I don't know if that has anything to do with
Yeah,
how
it
he'll
could
perform
do.
in this one, but it's his former team.
It could do. Sometimes that inspires players to try that little bit harder, but sometimes when you try that little bit too much, it can go the other way. But I normally like it when players play against other teams or old teams when they're. Yeah, I think it's a good thing. I would always go with the good side of that. And now we're going to go with the Swallows and the Carp, Jay.
Yeah, so we're back to the walking fade as we talked about 2 days ago. Gabriel Noah's on the mound for the Swallows. We talked about how he's been so bad in foreign leagues. He's got an ERA of over 6. He's 0-5 in 11 foreign games in his career, including the NPB. He was shelled by Hanshin in his first outing. Shelled by Hanshin, the worst offense
Yeah,
in
they
the
are the
league.
worst.
He was absolutely shelled. Um, so, yeah, it's a walking fade. Aaron Curry's going for Hiroshima. Had a really good outing in his first outing. Went 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, no earned, 9 strikeouts, and just 3 walks. Had a really good outing. So Hiroshima minus 150 is an official play. Also lean towards over 9.5 in this matchup.
Yeah, good man, good man. I like that. It's almost his pitching styles like your Auntie Doris who comes round every 6 months and like play in the garden and yeah, just whack it out the ground. Okay, the last game
Exactly.
is the Giants and the Baystars, Jay.
Well, this one I was pretty shocked when I looked at the over-under total. It's just at 8. So I put an official play at over 8 after I wrote my article because I couldn't believe how low it was for two of the better hitting teams in the league. So the Yokohama Baystars, they're going to go with a minor league pitcher, Chunichi Onuki, pitched in 2 games in the minors, just had a .82 ERA in those 2 games, 11 innings, but he allowed 13 hits, just had 1 earned run, 3 actual runs in the minor leagues because he had bad fielding behind him. Of course, that's not the same in the majors. 9 strikeouts and 1 walk, so he pitched really well in the minor league stint in those 2 games, but also allowed 13 hits. If he does that in the major leagues, he's going to allow a little bit more runs there. And then Toshiki Sakurai, or Sakurai, pitched pretty well in his first outing. Nothing crazy. 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 1 home run, 5 strikeouts, no walks. So both these guys aren't walking many batters in their outings, but they still allowed a combined, about 20 hits in 17 innings. So let's say they allowed 10 hits or something in their outings in 5, 6 innings. Get a couple runs there and get a couple runs in relief. I don't see how this doesn't hit over 8. So I'd go over 8. I'd also lean towards Giants minus 160. Sakurai has a 4.63 career ERA. And Onuki actually pitched for the Baystars in the major leagues last season for a little bit. Had a 5 ERA in 15 games. So we have a guy with a 5 ERA and a guy with a 4.63 ERA going up against each other. How is this not going to be over 8?
No, I agree. I agree. It looks like it's such a low total for teams that can put bat to ball. Now, let's take you back to the KBO. Give us any of your official plays. I know there's no official plays in the NPB Pacific Division, but they are in the Central Division. So let's go back to the KBO. And if you've got a little slippery parlay, no pressure, no guarantees, but just obviously tell us, Jay.
Right. So in the KBO, we've only got 2 official plays. We're going to go with Doosan to lead after the first 5 innings at plus 120 as an official play. We'll also go with Samsung minus 160 as an official play over the SK Wyverns. We might look at the Dinos if they go below around minus 130, minus 135. That would be an official play if it hits that level. So no, I'm going to hit it if it reaches that level, but I don't think it's going to. I think it's going to go up from there. But with Australia on the mound, you never know. And then in the NPB, we're going to go with the Chunichi Dragons at minus 125 against the Hanshin Tigers. Go with the Hiroshima Carp over the Yakult Swallows at minus 150. We'll also go over 8 in the Giants and Baystars game as an official play.
Okay, now listen, before we say goodbye to Jay, then this gives me an opportunity to say to you that please subscribe if you like this video. Press the button, ring the bell. If you ring the bell, then we can notify you. Now, we've been getting between 1,000 and 1,200 views per day. Now, if any of you are watching this video and you've not subscribed, then please subscribe and make sure you press that thumbs up to show Jay a little bit of appreciation for all the hard work that he does. And remember, it's a team game. So you have to show us that you like it so that I can then go to the bosses and say, listen, it's a great show. Everyone loves this show. We've got to do it more. And obviously when we get MLB on, well, that's a different question and different argument altogether. But listen, let's hope we go live again tomorrow. If we do, it'll be at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Jay, remember, you've got an extra 2 hours of sleep. Go well tonight, and we'll see you again tomorrow.
Yeah, let me just mention one more thing. The Hiroshima Carp are the banker play. I know everyone's going to be asking for it.
Banker as well.
Hiroshima is the banker.
Hey! See, if longer we stay on air, we might, listen, let's just sit here for a minute or so and let Jay come out with a few more officials and parlays and bankers.
Yeah,
Jay,
right.
you're doing great. Everyone's loving your work. We really appreciate it. We appreciate you at home as well by tuning in. So we'll hopefully see you again tomorrow, and hopefully we're live, and a few of you who haven't quite made the chat today, you'll make the chat tomorrow. You all take care. May all your bets be winners. You take care. Bye.